All right. In Riemann's approach to formulation, we often like to tout that we're the perfect synergy of when East meets West. And so, what we mean by that is Eastern traditional heritage ingredients and traditional methodologies of self-care are maximized in their efficacy and in their understanding with Westernized forms of formulation technique. And whether that's technique in terms of the raw material sourcing, in terms of the creation of the formula, or even in the packaging, we're always looking for ways in which we can innovate during product development. With this all in mind, we do like to embrace those K-beauty roots of self-care because they come with many positive connotations that immediately give a familiarity to Riemann. Not only do we also have those ancient roots and a story to be told, but there's a significant staying power within the market, and of course, the expectation of undeniable results of that Korean glass skin. But with formulating with K-beauty in mind, there's a couple of different techniques in comparison to Western beauty ideals. We focus more on protection and prevention rather than problem solving, working with the health of the skin instead of against any presenting issues, such that those issues don't occur to begin with. This means prioritizing gentler ingredients and keeping any harsher actives that do work or are well known just to a lower concentration to maintain your skin's integrity. This all culminates into a huge characteristic of K-beauty, which is the multi-step aspect. Staying consistent, layering these products and layering these ingredients is how you bring about that innate health to your skin that stays long term. All right, so that was that section. With our approach to formulating with K-beauty in mind, we like to uphold two main hero heritage ingredients, and that's giant byungpool and Jeju lava energy water. And then we also uphold one major form of technology, which is nanoliposomal technology in our Radiansum 100 line. To understand the giant byungpool and the Jeju lava energy water, we must understand where they're sourced from, which of course is Jeju Island. Now, Jeju Island formed roughly 2 million years ago off the coast of South Korea, and currently it is a UNESCO heritage site. It is heavily governmentally protected and respected in its beauty and in its resources. But this government involvement worked in Riemann's benefit in that we were able to establish a key partner with the Lava Seawater Research Center. This center allows us premier access to our Jeju lava energy water, but they've also allowed us to establish a smart farm to grow our giant byungpool on their campus. This means we have a direct hand in the raw material sourcing of our two most important ingredients, not just for our brand story, but for our brand's efficacy as well. And when we come to appreciate that first hero ingredient of byungpool, there are many different histories of use for this ingredient, and with it, many different names. It's known as tiger grass, Asiatic pennywort. I would say it's most commonly known as Centella asiatica. At its core, it is safe for sensitive skin types, and it promotes characteristic benefits including soothing and calming the skin, providing hydration, and improving the skin barrier. But this is true of any Centella asiatica, any byungpool, which is quite often used in the K-beauty industry. So we brought about that Riemann difference by cultivating and then patenting our exclusive strain of byungpool called Giant Byungpool. Giant Byungpool is essentially the marriage of standard Byungpool and Jeju lava energy water. This results in leaves that are 3 to 4 times larger in size in comparison to standard Byungpool. Once we confirmed this, we submitted it to an agency who studied those leaves for 3 years to make sure they were consistently growing larger. Once that was confirmed, we received exclusive cultivation rights, which we now hold for 20 years until 2042. What's most important in all of this is the fact we are using and growing these plants ourselves. We're able to use them in their fresh form. Many companies will dry the standard byungpool to lower the cost of shipping of this raw material, but in doing so, you remove water-soluble components that are beneficial to the human body, such as water-soluble vitamins. And so in our attainment of that fresh form leaves, we can pick them exactly at their peak of growth and bring them to our extraction process for inclusion into finished goods. And so, with all of that in mind, because of the greater area of the leaf size of the giant byung pool, there's a higher polyphenol content, and this directly correlates to greater antioxidant activity. But because we are so passionate about research, one branch of research at Ask Labs is our Byung Pool Research Institute, and they collaborated with universities in Seoul to find that giant byung pool has a significant anti-wrinkle effect as well as the ability to reduce hyperpigmentation. Our second hero and heritage ingredient is the Jeju lava energy water itself. So on Jeju Island, roughly 400,000 years ago, a volcano began to form, Halasan, and beneath this volcano was volcanic bedrock. The surrounding seawater began to filter through this bedrock and was being freed of any heavy metals or impurities, and instead actually picking up essential minerals, such that this aqueous resource has tested benefits in skin hydration. This cannot be said for distilled or deionized water, which is what is most often used in the industry. In understanding the universality of water in formulation, we use the Jeju lava energy water in three different steps of our processes. We use it to, of course, grow the giant byungpool, to water extract the giant byungpool leaves to create our byungpool leaf extract, and as often as we can in final formulation, when there is a water phase, we try to use Jeju lava energy water instead of distilled or deionized water. And last but certainly not least, our main form of the West of the technology is our liposomal technology. Liposomes were initially introduced in the pharmaceutical industry as a mechanism of enhancing the absorption of topical medications through the skin. Like many things, it was later adopted by the cosmetic industry for that same reason. They're extremely small, microscopic spherical molecules that have both polar and nonpolar environments, and they greatly enhance the targeted absorption of ingredients into the skin. Your skin is fantastic at what it's supposed to be doing, which is acting as a barrier, but sometimes that means that the products you're applying are not reaching the areas that matter for genuine efficacy. We use specifically a microfluidizer processor. This processor is still mainly used in the pharmaceutical industry and typically on an ingredient by ingredient basis. It's very expensive and very difficult to utilize a microfluidizer to create entirely nanoliposomal formulas. But we did exactly that with our Radiant Sun 100 line. Not only do the ingredients included are enhanced for absorption, but they're enhanced for targeted efficacy. If you're trying to reduce hyperpigmentation, then those liposomes bring an ingredient to the melanocytes or to the cell types that create melanin to have a genuine effect on your skin. All right.